On May 19, 2025, Captain Landon, leader of the Dragon Plan Special Forces, was betrayed by his own men and left to die in a trap. But death wasn't the end. When his eyes opened again, he was back in 2015, 10 years earlier. Reborn with the memories of a ruthless soldier, Landon swore one thing: this time those traitors will pay. Yet fate had other plans, because the first thing he saw after his rebirth wasn't his enemies. It was two beautiful girls, standing in nothing but towels. From brutal revenge to unexpected chaos, this is where Landon's second life begins. So buckle up. Let's begin the story. Story kicks off on May 19, 2025. Picture this: a creepy, abandoned building sitting in the middle of nowhere, covered in weeds and looking like the kind of place you'd never want to go near. The sky, dark and moody, like the universe already knows something bad is about to happen. Inside the building, there's this poor guy tied to a chair. His face is a mess. Bruises, tears, snot, the whole package. And right in front of him is a soldier dressed head to toe in tactical gear, holding a pistol like it's about to be the last thing this guy ever sees. The prisoner is stuttering, panicking, begging to know what's happening. Then suddenly his eyes widen. He recognizes the soldier. And that's when the soldier, totally cold and heartless, just lifts the gun and points it right at his head. The prisoner screams like it's his last breath on earth, and then bam! Out of nowhere, a knife slices down and chops off his hand. Blood sprays everywhere like a busted ketchup packet. The guy is shrieking in agony, staring at his now handless wrist, and the soldier doesn't even flinch. This soldier, that's Jiang Shan, captain of the Dragon Special Forces unit, codename Lone Wolf. And let me tell you, the man lives up to the name. He looks down at the prisoner like he's trash on the street, calling him a useless piece of garbage. Then, in his usual psycho-serious tone, he offers the guy a deal: confess, and I'll make your death quick. But before Jiang can push it further, another soldier steps in and puts a hand on his shoulder, basically saying, "Sir, maybe calm down. This interrogation is way out of line." Jiang immediately loses it. He screams, grabs his own comrade by the vest, and is like, "Screw the rules. How many of our brothers have already died, huh?" He's raging so hard you can practically see the veins about to burst on his forehead. He declares that their target is hiding in this very building. His teeth are grinding, his eyes are blazing, and he swears, "I'm tearing him apart today." He yanks the prisoner by the hair, demanding the code for the top floor, promising another quick death deal. But the prisoner just sobs and stays silent, which only makes things worse. A little later, Jiang and his squad end up standing in front of a massive wooden door, with a body already lying lifeless nearby. One of his men punches in the code. Jiang shouts, "Cover me," and then, bam! He kicks the huge door so hard it explodes off its hinges like it was made of cardboard. And who's waiting inside? Mr. Chen. This guy is sitting there in a fancy chair, wearing a crisp white suit, sipping wine and watching everything through his wall of security monitors like some Bond villain. When Jiang storms in, Chen doesn't even blink. He smirks, takes another swirl of his wine, and says in the most smug way possible, "Captain Jiang, you finally arrived. You really made me wait." Jiang's face twists into this furious sneer. He basically growls, "Mr. Chen, you call me out here because you're tired of living." And then, as if things weren't dramatic enough, a red aura bursts out around him. His eyes glow like a demon, and he slowly walks forward, promising, "I'll catch you myself, then tear you apart and feed you to the dogs." Chen, though completely unfazed, he just chuckles, covering his mouth like Jiang's some bad joke. "Captain Jiang," he says, "you really think you've got me cornered?" Jiang immediately roars back, "What the hell are you laughing at? Our backup will be here soon. You're done." But Chen's smirk vanishes. He looks Jiang dead in the eye and says, totally calm, "You're wrong. There won't be any backup." And right as he says it, you hear it, the sound of a gun cocking. Jiang whirls around and his heart probably drops straight to his boots, because standing right behind him is his own subordinate, pointing a pistol at his head. "Sorry, Captain," the traitor says, completely emotionless. The betrayal hits Jiang like a sledgehammer. His face is a mix of shock and pure rage. Chen just leans back in his chair, grinning, mocking Jiang for being all muscle and no brain. He lectures him about strategy, about how the best way to win is without even fighting. And then he says coldly, "You'll have plenty of time to think about that in your next life." The subordinate presses the gun harder against Jiang's head. But Jiang's not done. He roars, "Bastard!" And in one last desperate move, he lunges at the guy. They wrestle for the gun, screaming and fighting, but Jiang is already bleeding out, his strength failing. His consciousness starts slipping into darkness, and the horrible realization hits him. It was all a trap from the start. His entire team, the Dragon Plan, had been doomed the moment they walked in. The last image burned into his mind is Mr. Chen smiling with that traitor by his side. Jiang's heart fills with burning regret. If only he'd killed that smug bastard when he had the chance. His fist clenches, his rage takes shape, and with his last breath he makes a venomous promise. "I will kill that son of a bitch." Then everything goes dark. But suddenly, a voice calls out, Someone's waving at him, asking if he's okay. Jiang opens his eyes, and standing there is a nerdy-looking student with glasses and a bowl cut. Jiang's eyes are glowing red, so the kid freaks out and quickly explains he wasn't trying to be weird, just that Jiang had been standing still like a creepy statue for way too long. Jiang stares at him, completely lost, and asks if this is a school. The kid's confused, saying, yeah, obviously, what else would it be? Jiang grabs him by the shirt, panicking, demanding to know the date. The kid stammers out, April 13, 2015. Jiang freezes. 10 years earlier, he stumbles to a sink, sees his reflection, his younger self staring back at him. The impossible realization sinks in. He's been reborn. He actually got sent back in time. At first, he doesn't believe it, so he slaps himself across the face. It hurts like hell, which only proves it's real. Memories of his bloody death flash back, and a grim smile creeps onto his face. If he's alive again, then this time he's going to rewrite everything. This time, Mr. Chen and that traitor are the ones who'll die. As he's standing in the bathroom trying to process, 3 girls walk by gossiping about some hot guy. One of them, a purple-haired girl, notices Jiang staring at his reflection and gets confused. Her friends immediately snap at him, calling him a creep, and point out he's definitely not the handsome guy they were talking about. To make things worse, they notice he's got a nosebleed, muttering how gross he is before walking off. Jiang barely reacts. He's too busy repeating the date in his head, April 13th. Then it hits him like a punch to the gut. He remembers a bloody slipper on a tiled floor. He remembers the purple-haired girl's lifeless body lying in a pool of blood. That was supposed to happen today. His eyes start glowing red again, his aura flaring up like fire. And with a voice filled with grim determination, Jiang declares, "This time I'm rewriting everything. This is where it all begins." So the next day, Jiang is back in class, just chilling when his ears catch something juicy. 2 girls are whispering about some thugs hanging around the school gate. Now normal people would be like, oof, not my problem. But Jiang, nope. My guy immediately decides, yeah, I need to check this out. And where does he go? Straight to the girls' bathroom. He walks up, knocks on the door, and straight up says, "Hey, can I come in? I just need some water. The main building's out again." And shockingly, they actually let him in. Inside, 2 girls are in towels, fresh out of the shower, looking at him like, dude, really? Of all places? One of them warns him, fine, but don't look around too much. Jiang just shrugs her off like, please, you're not even on my radar, and walks to the sink to fill up his massive water bottle. But as the water runs, Jiang's expression suddenly changes. He gets this dark, serious look because a memory is tugging at him. Something bad went down in this exact bathroom years ago. And while he's lost in thought, you can hear other girls outside the door complaining that their friend is taking forever in the shower. Jiang glances at his watch, 1:15. His brain clicks. He knows this moment. Suddenly, a scream rips through the hallway. There's a pervert peeking. And sure enough, a man in a brown sweater comes bolting down the hall, trying to escape. Jiang's eyes go wide. He remembers this exact scene down to the second. He even remembers that panicked blur of a man rushing past him in the past. And instead of panicking this time, a dark grin spreads across Jiang's face. Because this is the moment that ruined everything for him before. The memory crashes down like a nightmare, April 12, 2015. Back then, it was chaos. Police cars, crime scene tape, students crying everywhere. A girl had been assaulted in the showers. And Jiang, he remembers his part in it too well. Instead of stopping the creep in the brown sweater, he froze. He literally collapsed in a corner, hugging his knees, trembling like a kid. Right beside him was a broken bottle, but he couldn't even pick it up. He just sat there, paralyzed by fear, while that monster slipped into the bathroom and destroyed someone's life. He remembers the blood-splattered sandal lying on the floor afterwards. He remembers how the victim transferred schools, vanished, and was never heard from again. Everyone else moved on eventually, but Jiang never did. That day became his personal demon. It ate him alive until he couldn't even graduate. He dropped out, joined the army, and poured every ounce of guilt and rage into becoming a soldier. And not just a soldier, the lone wolf. The guy who cut down enemies without hesitation. The guy who bent rules until they snapped. All because he couldn't forgive himself for freezing up in that bathroom years ago. But now he's back, reborn, and this time he swears he's not running. Back in the present, the scene is chaotic again. The creep in the brown sweater is waving a knife, screaming at everyone to stay back. Students are panicking, backing off. Jiang just watches calmly, then picks up his giant water bottle and mutters to himself, "The best way to deal with scum is with fire." His eyes harden. This time, he's not letting anyone suffer because of him. He yells for everyone to clear out, then with a roar, he swings the water bottle like a sledgehammer. The nozzle smashes into the floor right next to the thug's head, splashing water everywhere. The creep screams, clutching his shoulder in pain, stumbling back and spitting threats. "Who was it? I'll kill you." But before he can even finish the sentence, Jiang is already flying through the air. His foot connects with the guy's skull in a devastating kick, and the thug goes flying across the room like a rag doll. The two towel-wrapped girls just stand there in shock like, what the actual hell did we just witness? The thug groans, somehow not completely out cold, and drags himself to his knees, knife still in hand. Jiang narrows his eyes, impressed but annoyed. Damn, he survived that? Guess I really do need to train harder. He calmly loosens his tie, his whole body radiating serious boss fight mode. The thug, meanwhile, is crying and snarling all at once. He pulls out another knife, screaming, "You little brat, die!" and lunges at Jiang in a desperate rage. But Jiang, too fast. He sidesteps like it's nothing, grabs the thug's wrist mid-swing, and with a crack, the blade shatters right in his grip. Before the guy can even blink, Jiang counters with a brutal kick to the head, then follows up with a lightning-fast barrage of strikes, fists, kicks, everything. It's a blur of red and black, too fast to follow. The thug's eyes roll back, and his body slams into the tiled floor, completely done. Jiang stands over him, breathing heavily, clutching his own arm from the exertion. "Ugh!" he groans, because even lone wolves aren't invincible. But the thug, barely conscious, glares up with hate dripping from his eyes. He spits out one last insult, "Bastard." And that's it. That word flips a switch inside Jiang. His eyes start glowing red again, rage flooding his veins. He grabs the thug by the hair and unleashes a merciless beatdown, pounding him into the tiles without holding back. His disgust is written all over his face. To Jiang, just looking at this guy is enough to make him sick. Then finally a voice cuts through the chaos. Classmate." It's a girl's voice. Jiang freezes mid-swing and looks up. Standing there is a girl with striking purple hair, clutching a towel around herself, cheeks flushed. She warns him softly, "If you keep hitting him, you'll kill him." The words hit Jiang like a bucket of ice water. He stares at her and recognition slams into him. It's her, the purple-haired girl from his memories, the one he couldn't save in his past life. She looks up at him nervously, sweat trickling down her face, and says, "Could you please not stare at me like that? It's kind of embarrassing." And Jiang just stands there looking down at her, his face unreadable, his thoughts a storm behind those glowing eyes. A few hours later, the cops finally rolled up to the school, sirens blaring, lights flashing blue and red like it was some discount nightclub. Everyone turned to look. Jiang was standing next to one of the officers, hands casually shoved in his pockets like he wasn't the guy at the center of all this drama. Meanwhile, the thug he beat earlier was standing there cuffed, flanked by two officers. The thug whined, "Officer, I need to use the bathroom." The cops didn't even look at him. "Shut up." Then the officer standing by Jiang leaned down and spoke in this low, suspicious tone. "Little student, that joint-locking technique you pulled earlier was pretty professional. You trained somewhere." Jiang glanced at him, completely deadpan. "Learned it from TV, just flashy moves." The officer blinked. "TV? Since when do TV shows teach combat skills better than scouts?" In his head, he's already suspicious like, nah, there's no way a kid picked that up from TV. And then, out of nowhere, the officer raises his hand like he's about to choke somebody. He stretches it toward Jiang's neck. "What about this kind of situation? Would TV teach you how to handle this too?" Jiang doesn't flinch. His eyes narrow, glowing faintly red again, and his voice comes out deep, like a warning growl. "Officer, grabbing a civilian by the throat, not exactly appropriate, is it?" That shuts the cop up real quick. For a moment, he just stares at Jiang thinking, what the hell is with this kid's aura? Why does it feel like I'm standing in front of a killer? Then out of nowhere, a small hand tugs at the officer's sleeve. A gentle voice speaks up. "Officer, don't make things hard for him. I saw everything. That thug pulled a knife first." The girl throws a casual glance Jiang's way as she says it. The officer frowns. "Even so, you still can't beat someone half to death." He shoots Jiang another suspicious look, face unreadable. Hours later, night had fallen. Jiang finally got home. He stood at the door of their apartment, opened it, and stepped inside. His mom was already at the table setting up dinner. "Mom, I'm back," he said quietly. She turned and immediately started scolding. "Oh, so you do remember where home is? Do you know what time it is? We've been waiting to eat. And where's your school bag? What kind of student comes home without it? The older you get, the worse you behave. Your dad spoiled you too much. He let you develop all these bad habits. Now go wash your hands." But Jiang just stood there silently. Then he walked over and hugged her from behind. She froze, confused. "And what's wrong? Did someone bully you? Don't cry, don't cry." A few minutes later, he was already sitting at the table eating. His mom looked at him closely. "Son, you seem strange today. Are you feeling sick? Too much school pressure lately?" Jiang smiled faintly. "Don't worry, Mom, I'm fine. From now on, I'll listen to you, I promise." She snorted. "Cut the crap. Listen to me. I'd be happy if you just stopped making me worry. We don't expect you to be some big shot." Just finish school and later your dad can pull some strings to get you a government job. Her nagging kept going, but Jiang just sat there listening quietly, a soft warmth in his chest. Back when she was alive, she used to nag me just like this. I really missed it. Later in his room, he sat alone, staring at the ceiling. I miss it so much. The days when I didn't have to worry about bullets blowing my brain out. Ordinary people work so hard just to hold on to a little bit of happiness, but evil people can crush it all in seconds. He clenched his fists. Now that I've been given a second chance, I'm going to change this world. No regrets this time. The next morning at school, Jiang greeted the old gatekeeper. "Morning, sir." The old man waved. "Jiang Shan, you little rascal, that was a heroic act yesterday." Jiang blinked, Not long after, as he walked across the campus, he overheard two girls whispering nearby. "That's him, Jiang Shan from class 15. Now that I look closely, he's kinda handsome. The way he fought yesterday was so cool. Even a random teacher walked by and gave him a thumbs up. Nice job, kid. The principal's going to give you an award." Inside, Jiang was stunned. I didn't expect this. I just tried to save someone and now it's causing this much of a stir. When he stepped into class, the chatter only got louder. It's him, the one who kicked the door open. His fists are huge like sandbags. It was like a movie scene. Then one guy called out, "Jiang, those two moves yesterday were insane, just like Chang Wei beating Lai Fu." Jiang raised an eyebrow. "You want to learn, I'll teach you." The guy gasped, "Really, Godfather?" Meanwhile, someone else wasn't happy about the whole hero worship. At the front, class rep Yang's face was twisted with anger. He crushed his pen in his hand, muttering, "It was just a fight. Why are they acting like he won a medal? Quit showing off." Finally, he stood up. Jiang, already lounging in his chair, casually asked, "What's your problem, class rep Yang?" Yang glared. "Yesterday's English homework. You're the only one who didn't hand it in, Jiang Shan." Without missing a beat, Jiang pulled his notebook out of his bag. "Even the class rep has to come personally to collect my homework. Guess I really am special." The Godfather guy's eyes sparkled even more. "Master Jiang, you're amazing." Then it happened. Rip. Everyone turned. Yang had just torn Jiang's homework in half. He sneered like a villain. "This assignment doesn't count. Rewrite your English homework right now." Jiang didn't even move. He just looked up at him, eyes cold, like a demon lord who's really to end someone's whole career. If you like my content and want to keep up with future updates, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video.